When you want to test an API, you probably use an API client such as Postman or Insomnia, as these give you a nice user interface to build and send requests. But there's also another way. You can use a curl command directly from your terminal. So what is curl? Curl actually stands for client URL. It is a command line tool that you can use to transfer data over the internet. With curl, you can make requests to servers, download files, and check that your API is working. Here's an example curl when we're making a request to the JSON placeholder API. There's some components to this, so let's break them down. We can see -x post, and this says we're making a post request. Then we can see the URL we are posting to. -h is adding a header of content type application JSON. This adds a header telling the server we're requesting to that we're sending JSON. And finally, we can see -d and some information. And this is the request body. And in this case, we're sending it as a JSON object. And just be aware the syntax can be slightly different when you're on a Windows versus a Mac or Linux. But when we send this curl, we get a response. The really useful thing about using curl is it holds all the information about the request. And this means that if you send your curl to anyone, they can make the exact same request on their machine. Developers love it because it's universal and it supports many more protocols than just HTTP. And if you're using an API client, you can copy the curl from that and send it to people, or you can even paste a curl into your API client. I find that curl comes in really handy when I'm trying to just send someone the exact request I'm making, and usually it's to help me debug why it's not working. Perhaps they can spot something in the request that is wrong. So in short, curl is a simple but powerful way to test APIs and make requests over the internet. And whether you prefer using the terminal or an API client, it works with both. And if you're curious to learn more about using API clients, I've actually got a video on using Postman, specifically comparing post, put, and patch. So go check that out. But other than that, I'll see you next time.